Yes, we are in right now, I think, as I see. Maybe a few seconds we have to give to our colleagues who will be trying to join us. You welcome Joseph, Thomas, Shlomo, our president. Shlomo WONCA is together with us also. And Thomas, president-elect, and he's here, and he honorary treasurer and responsible from the education. Joseph Rezeka is here also. And our colleague, Pavlo. Pavlo, you're welcome. And he could be together with us tonight, which is very special. Let's wait a few minutes just to have our colleagues to join us. Okay, so we will start, Pavlo. I think it would be good to remind all of us that this WETalk, WONCA Europe talk session has been done before, but it was all about the people, the persons, and the subjects. But now it is a very important topic that is from first hand. It's an unusual way. And our colleague Pavlo is very well known by all your participants, all our member organizations, and all our networks. He has been spending a lot of effort on behalf of the Ukrainian family doctors across Europe, and he's a very experienced colleague in the WONCA and WONCA Europe. So I appreciate he could have found a time to share his experiences firsthand with all of us, even in this very sad and emotional moment. But what I can tell you is, as executive board of WONCA Europe and Pavlo, we have talked and decided that we will not be emotional, and we will not be talking about politics. We will not be talking about unnecessary things, but we will be target-oriented. And mainly we will talk about three main questions we have asked to Pavlo. He will describe the health service provided now there in Ukraine for those waves of fleeing people towards the western border and his city. And he's putting into practice, actually, all of them. And the second one, he will tell us about what are the urgent needs for the team of the family doctors and the residents who are really working to maintain the, not refugee, but the migrants in the border. And also, Pavlo from first hand will tell us, is there a suggested way of delivering the support to that area, to medical support and medical supplies or equipments or services to that part of the country to support our colleagues who are working 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Pavlo, I will not introduce you. Just start introduction of yours, and we will get some questions in the meantime to our question and answer chat box. And during that chat box, please, I'm just reminding to my colleagues, if you can provide your emails there, and if we don't have time at the end of this session, then we will turn to answer those questions to you and to other colleagues. So that's the reason it would be nice to get your emails in the chat box also when you ask a question. Joseph will follow all the questions altogether. Shlomo, would you like to say a few words before we just give the word to Pavlo?
Yes, thank you, Mehmet, but I try to be very short because I think that we should leave the stage as possible for Pavlo and for our audience So, dear Ukrainian friends, dear Pavlo, we know each other for many, many years, and I always appreciated your activities, you know it. You've even been hosted in my house. But now I simply admire you and your activity and hope that we will meet again soon in peaceful times. And for the meanwhile, we as WONCA Europe will give you all the help that we can. I personally donated a substantial amount of money to your charity fund because I count on you 100%, more than 100%. And I call all of you to donate. You know that in Israel, we have a lot of former Ukrainian immigrants among our family doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and we are all keen to give you support. And if you think that you or your colleagues can get the support from us, psychological support or something like this with remote telemedicine, please let us know, and I will organize volunteers that can talk with you and your colleagues in your own language. And as I said, I want to be very short, and I would want to give you the stage, and everything that you need from us, just send us in emails, and we will put everything on our website, and we will promote it in our social media. And I think that the stage is yours, Pavlo.
Thank you, dear Shlomo. Thank you, dear Mehmet. And I really appreciate this opportunity to speak to you. I see 100 of participants are now watching this webinar. Thank you, Thomas Burak, for organizing this. I appreciate to be surrounded by my friends, really close friends whom I know for a long time. Thank you for this opportunity. So, but for those people who don't know me, actually, I am not the president or some outstanding person. I'm just a doctor from the Western Ukraine. So let me introduce myself. My name is Pavlo Kolesnyk. I am a family doctor. Yes, I work for almost 25 years in this field, and I became a head of the family medicine and outpatient care department of Uzhgorod National University. I collaborated with WONCA organizations, and it was my privilege to meet so many outstanding people and to make friends with so many people. Maybe many of them are now watching me from the other side of the screen. So being a member of EURACT, I could collaborate with outstanding experts in teaching of family medicine. Being a council member of EGPRN, I met fantastic experts in research and scientific work field. Also, being a council member of EuroPrev, together with my young colleague, we could follow the prevention strategies in Ukraine. So where I'm from, it is meaningful because it could explain why am I invited now to make this speech. So I'm from Uzhgorod. Actually, it's not a city; it's a small town, 100,000 population in the western Ukraine, and this is the bordering part of Ukraine. You can see it on the by the arrow, which is the main bordering part of Ukraine, and the last point, which is the capital of Transcarpathian region. We are lucky and we are blessed to have our Carpathian Mountains, which is like a chain, surrounds our region, making it for now and for God bless, hopefully it will be the safest, it will remain the safest place in our country. Meanwhile, it makes us surrounded by the mountains from one part, and maybe to be protected from the one part, and to be neighboring with Europe and European Union, with Slovakia from one part, from one side, and Hungary from the other side. So we have just few kilometers from Slovakian and Hungarian borders from my town. So that means that our protected place became kind of a very, very attractive place, and a place to crossing through for the waves of, maybe, yes, we can call them migrants, but some of them became refugees from all parts of Ukraine. Really, we understood that people want to escape this disaster, which was not expected. An endless stream of refugees try to go abroad. And we understand that this is the situation which you can see on the borders. We have several points, like frontier points, and this is the walking frontier point. So there you could see crowds of people. Not nowadays, because many people already are there in Europe. So this is the current situation about the refugees who want to go abroad. But major people wanted to stay here. They didn't know language, they didn't have an opportunity to cross the border, and they didn't want to go further. So they wanted to remain here in Western Ukraine and to become to stay here, hoping for the better, for the best in future, in the close future. That's why we have crowded train stations, crowds of people coming from different places. So our train endlessly come to the train station, bringing more and more and more people from different parts of Ukraine, women, babies, children. Definitely these people would need medical assistance on the checkpoints, on the frontier, on the border, and also on the train station and other stations. So that's why we understood that this is the place which we could offer our help, and our residents started to work there, because youngsters are our very big force. And also we communicate, we collaborate with Red Cross to provide the first aid help. For example, my son, who is a resident of family medicine, the first year resident, he worked days and nights duties on the frontier, on the broad border, and he had a beautiful opportunity to practice so practical residency training. But I wish he could never have this opportunity in his life. Current situation in the town and of our western region of Ukraine, we understand that we have to settle great number of refugees in our city, in our region. That's why we started to share our community households. Nowadays, in my personal house, I have 11 people living together under the roof. We understand that we have to host people escaping from the disaster, to share our whole households with them, and to let them live in some safe place. For those who couldn't find the places, because our town is almost full of people and our households are almost occupied by the migrants. So we've got municipal, and we started to organize, our municipal government started to organize the municipal and private shelters. Our university shared the dormitories, so municipal government shared schools and kindergartens for that. Actually, in brackets, I can say our kids now will not have a place to get their study, so they get study in online. No schools and kindergartens for teaching. So now they are occupied by the refugees. We understand the refugees needs their places for living. Definitely in these places they have to get medical assistance on their locations. That's why shifts of residents and our doctors was organized there, and shifts of senior students also was organized there. You see the gyms full of people, sometimes even 50 people in one, 50 persons in one gym. The other situation and the other current event which we have now, which is urgent medical needs of the doubled population of my town and of my region also. We found out that there are a lot of unexpectedly arisen diseases which are among our refugees, our migrants. and we see that the system of medical supply, which was destroyed by war, now can't supply all their needs, can support all their needs. And we find out that now we have to learn how to treat diabetes without insulin, how to treat hypertension without antihypertensive drugs, how to treat anxiety without benzodiazepines or antidepressants, how to treat depression without drugs, how to treat hypothyroidism without levothyroxine, which is incredible challenge for the family doctors. We see that we have lacking of medicines, and we have empty pharmacies. No import of the drugs, but just a lot of people coming. That's why we decided to move fastly, and we called it kind of a cutting off fire of burning needs. We understand it has to be a general big import of all products, of medical products. But nowadays we can't wait. Diabetic patients, as all of you know, they can't wait. They need the solution right now, immediately. That's why we opened the donation possibility. Actually, that was also one of the challenges. We needed to get some money, some donations, with a challenging bank system, which is not in the good balance in Ukraine right now. That's why we opened the account for the donations in Hungary. And our person who is older than 65, because we men before 65, we can't cross the border right now. But the man older than 61, the head of the charity foundation, who is my friend for over 30 years already, who helped us with many charity projects, who now brings cash to us, and we could buy some things, or abroad, or currently in our region. So, what medical assistance do we provide for the refugees with the help of our team of young doctors? There is a municipal place which is the previous winery, and it is called Owl's Nest. And this Owl's Nest became a place, a storage of humanitarian goods, and also the place for the medical point. Now you see it on the screen. It's an authentic, under the ground place where you could see the refugees. We opened the candy shop. We call it like a joke to make things a bit more funny, which are not funny at all. Candy shop, this is the place where we distribute medications for the refugees personally, or we send them to the shelters, which are supervised by young doctors. Each one is responsible for each shelter. We have over 15 shelters already, official shelters, but a lot of private unofficial shelters. So we didn't know even how many refugees are coming now. So what are main scopes from the perspective of family doctor among the refugees, about the refugees' health? Anxiety and depression and PTSD, it is definitely the priority. Diabetes mellitus, insulin is not imported in a proper way, and now we are facing the very big problem with insulin. Hypertension, we always need hypertensive drugs, statins for the proper therapy of it, because people have huge number of increased hypertensive crisis. And hypothyroidism, we figured it out, which was not very typical for our region. We had some iodine insufficiency, but it was not that problem. But now we see that it is from Kiev and some central regions where close to Chernobyl, a lot of people suffer from hypothyroidism, myxedema, and they have a lot of cases of stomectomy. So they need dosage of Euthyrox. And it's very good that we could make this possible to import by ourselves some medical needs which are urgent. For example, due to international support. And I want to say thank you in global and to each of you, many of you sitting for that part of that side of the screen who hear me now. You made your donations, and I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart for this possibility, because now we can really help a lot of people with your donations, and we can really help a lot of people with the medications which are urgently needed. So donations were coming to the Hungarian border, and we get them every week, this money, or we could get medical shipments or medications from abroad, which is a blessing for us to live so close to the border. And my friends from Europe, Peter Weyer, Joachim Bednar, and other doctors, they helped us to organize buying the medications in Hungary, for example, and we get the medications which were needed to our local place and distribute them among the refugees. Also, we've got several medical shipments which are easy to be transported through the border, and they were supplied by my Iraq friends, which is also a great opportunity. We live very close, and we can get some goods from abroad. But additional possible support is always welcome in this field. So medical needs, help is really needed. What we do, we cut off the fire, as I told you, of the urgent needs in medications, buying them from abroad and distributing. I understand we need more, but we could handle at least these refugees shelters and these people who are surrounding. What we need, I suppose, to make it efficient, because we are burning out, we have to make some standard Google form of medication requests, and we would like to help to ask for the help of maybe WONCA to make this like a support or form to control requests of the refugees and their medical needs, which we could add in this form. And you could see this form for your side, and if you could donate something, or if you could bring some medical help, it could come to the border and we could distribute it immediately among the shelters and among the refugees. We really appreciate help if you could help us in organizing logistics, because nowadays we have just few volunteers and they are women. Men are not allowed to cross the border, as I told you, only old men, and women are allowed. That's why women cross the border in their own cars, and they bring medications, some boxes, thousands of tablets to us to distribute them. And we have some special needs, maybe not for us medical doctors, but I know that my colleagues from the other parts of Ukraine, they need some traumatological equipment, and I have a list of them. And if some of you could get some links, personal links, we could send the shipment to the east, to the central Ukraine. And I have my personal contacts with my friends who were my friends or group mates in the medical college, and now they are doctors in these very, very dangerous regions. And one more thing about telemedicine. I heard about it. It was very, very good idea, and it was also offered by Europe. Maybe some other colleagues would be happy to help us. I will tell you a very interesting story, again a bit fun in this sad period. We sing lullabies to our residents. Can you imagine? Our residents remain the only responsible people in the shelters, responsible for the health of the people in the shelters. We have no more medical hands for that. That's why we need to support them somehow, or to supervise them, or to consult them in some of their practical needs. And we call these meetings in the evening, singing residents' lullaby during war. We sing them lullabies, telling about, discussing their current problems, their clinical cases, and some small practical tips or practical small lectures, I can say, about this or that topics. It is interesting to tell you The topics are easy, which they ask us to remind how to deal or manage with the hypertensive crisis, how to treat the diabetes patients, how to manage the stress or depression. You know, that what we learned many times ago, during the medical study, but it was not personal. Now it's personal. Now it's really practical. It's up to date for them. So we would be happy if you could support us with the practical keynote lectures at least once a week or somehow, which will be feasible for the current situation, but not only about war, but also about peace, about the civil needs. Every evening we have these Google meetings, lullabies, and I would be happy if you could join at least some shift of experts to be added and to be added to these Google meetings to consult us, to support trainers and trainees. We really need some practical guides, leaflets, or something which could be used up to date, very, very easy and short. This is very important. And I listed some possible topics which I've got from my my young colleagues. So they are keen on knowing about depression, anxiety, PTSR, PTSD, sorry, burnout syndrome prevention, wound care, burn care, but also some non-communicable diseases management, hypertension, diabetes, psychosomatic disorders, maybe some other specific problems which could be outlined, or maybe your favorite lectures or favorite practical lectures could be offered for 45 minutes presentation, at least once a week. And we need to help ourselves and our trainees from burnout. It is obvious now, 2 weeks of living in fear, living in unclear future, living in sirens which are ringing at night, predicting some bombing, which fortunately don't come, don't happen here, but we could expect it every single moment. You can't walk because this is an alarm, and you can have to get to somewhere to get protected. So it's very, very hard situation. That's why we have to protect ourselves from the burnout syndrome. This Google meeting is kind of a very good protection. Maybe with the support of WONCA, it could happen. We also need practical psychologists, definitely. We don't know how to manage our personal burnout syndrome, our personal depression, our personal fears. We don't know what will happen in future. That's why this is very important. And what Shlomo suggested, it's perfect. People who could speak Russian or Ukrainian with our trainees, this is more than welcome. Medical gifts, which is very, very personal ask for some of you maybe. I thought about some things which could be like a present for my residents, like high quality stethoscopes. They asked me about Littmann's or something, or otoscopes or ophthalmoscopes. Maybe this will be the gift they will keep till the end of their practical life, and they will always remind, it will always remind them where did they get it from and for what service did they get these goods. Maybe it could be a good support for them to understand that they are not forgotten. Sorry. And the last words about our dreams. Maybe if we are lucky to collect more money, maybe dream can come true. For example, dream project about training and charity center for the refugees to make, for example, 30 mothers and babies. We have a beautiful building which has to be restored. But now the first floor is being restored by the volunteers to place some mothers and babies from the train station. It's very close to the train station. And it could be a very nice center in future, which could combine teaching and medical needs, practical and academical needs. So definitely the cost of the building is very high meanwhile. And but we have some big forces. We have already staff ready to work. We have volunteers and we have medical office equipment to equip the part of the building as a clinic for the refugees. Another dream project, which I dreamt for a lot of many years, a good idea to have a family clinic on the wheels. I thought once my friend Shlomo Winker told me about the way they made the screening of breast cancer in Israel, and I suppose it was done in many other countries. So just equip one clinic on the wheels with some easy screening materials, screening instruments, and it could cover the needs of the far rural areas in all over the region, and provide a lot of medical assistance in different shelters for the refugees in the region. So again, a dream project, but let's dream big. If you plan to make some donations, you can get it from my presentation. It is here, so we usually ask for the donations for the account in Hungary. And also, if you plan to make transportation through the border, you have to contact us, and we will provide you with the information how to make it properly. Just a few documents are needed, and the goods could be transported easily through the border. How to contact me? You see my email address, and I will be very happy to collaborate if possible. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being with us today. It makes us feel a bit more relief in this very hard period of time for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavlo. This is very, very concrete and very, very informative from first-hand colleague in the middle of the flee, let's say, from the refugee flee from east to west. I have seen that there are a lot of colleagues who are asking you to call them, like the URACT and also the Cardio-Oncology Society from United States. And we know that European Cancer Organization is trying to help also. And also our dear colleague, and very, very grateful that Peter Falcai is with us, he's the president of the European Psychiatry Association, which is very important for us at this moment. All of them are here and trying to learn what is going on there and how could they help. I'm pretty sure that your messages are there with them. And now, together with you and our President Shlomo WONCA and Thomas, President-elect, will be doing the best to our colleagues to support in Ukraine in means of medical needs and medical supplies. And I'm very much affected about the need for the simple things which are very useful, like treating a thyroid disease without having enough medication, which is almost impossible, but also trying to help the people without having any kind of benzodiazepines and such kind of medicine. So I mean, I'm really affected. This is the real physician action, actually, your residents are learning. I know that you have a great history of the academic family medicine also with your colleagues. And now I think you are making the training, unfortunately, in that condition, but also I think I'm pretty sure that they will be having a very good training because of you and your colleagues. Can I just give the word to Joseph? Maybe Joseph and Thomas, you have chosen some related questions to Pavlo, if you have in your hands right now. I have seen a lot of
yes.
analysis.
Joseph, would you like to start, or should I start with you?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to remind to the audience that this session has been recorded and that you can view again this presentation on the website of WONCA Europe. So all of you who are asking for the recorded presentation, just connect to the website of WONCA Europe and you will see the entire session because it is recorded in our website. Pavlo, everybody wants to help. I have seen many people asking and offering their help, responding to the proposals that you offered. Please, I want to remind to the audience as well that please use the Q&A chat, not the standard chat, because in the standard chat there are hundreds of messages, and in the Q&A you will see in the bottom left of the screen, close to the standard chat, you will see the other chat. So perhaps the response to all those people who want to help you, how to organize all these volunteers, what do you recommend? How can they move to you in order to make it steadily in order and to reach the help regarding to those webinars, regarding to sending medicines, regarding to everything?
Thank you, Joseph. I'm just looking through the chat, and fantastic feedback. Thank you. It is so inspiring, really. So first of all, thank you for those colleagues who are ready to help with this singing lullabies to the residents. I thought about not only our residents. We probably have a lot of residents all over Europe, all over Ukraine, who could also join us during these Google meetings. So being a head of the Iraq Association, I have over 70 teachers all over the whole Ukraine. Hopefully, some of them are still in contact. I still collaborate with their residents, and maybe it could be a very good opportunity to unite Ukraine again, at least through Iraq network. And maybe we could make it for the big audience, to make online teaching for the big audience. So the topics, yes, topics, it's interesting question. What topics should we cover? I suppose maybe colleagues have some ideas. Or for example, if you ask me as a teacher with 25 years experience, I definitely have some very favorite topics. Definitely each of you would propose this or that favorite topic for a very short time. For example, 45 minutes, it's enough. But I suppose it could be some list of topics which could become elective topics. And our people could pick them up, and we could vote for the topics which are the main interested.
Yeah.
By the audience right now. Maybe they have their preferences. I can't imagine what can people right now have in their mind in different regions. I'm talking about my own Western region, and I saw in the chat very nice comment, really, that in other regions they may be different needs in medications. Absolutely right. Absolutely. I am talking only about the region, which is the Western region, full of refugees. But in the burning, bleeding points of Ukraine, bleeding regions of Ukraine, definitely have different regions, different needs. And I believe that one of my colleagues, Albina Zharkova, who is a Iraq member, who came from the hell, actually, which is now in her region, in her hometown. She now is in my city. And she has absolutely different points of view about the needs in their region. And this will be different, definitely. It will be about wound care, about bleeding, about hemostatics, about tourniquets, which are really badly needed. So I suppose we have to find out what regions need what. Okay, so, and again, it has to be some stable form which could cover the needs of different regions. And also we could use the network of our teachers. Iraq teachers is a good force of them. Some of them are members of EGPRN. Maybe they could find out what are the needs in their regions.
Yeah. Pavlo, let me just ask on this. Could we from WONCA Europe or from the networks help you with organizing, collecting possible topics, and with organizing the voting? Because I presume that you are really overwhelmed by all the tasks. For example, Eva, me, Anna from Iraq, and others, they may briefly discuss on how to set up a list of topics through WONCA Europe, and maybe just setting up a doodle so that people can vote on. I just tried to catch up the chat and the questions which also came up in the chat through your presentation. The lullabies, what about the language? It has to be translated?
Yeah,
okay.
ask for help with translators. For example, we have some teachers, but they are all almost overwhelmed with their duties. Maybe some of them, even me, I could help, but not always. That's why, because lullabies are every day. And for example, this weekly lectures could be, for example, every week. So I suppose we have to find some responsibilities to interpreters. So who could make simultaneous or sentence by sentence translation to make it or spread for the whole Ukraine, because not very big number of our doctors speak English. That's why we need to translate it to Ukrainian, or even with Russian-speaking translation, it's understandable by most of our citizens.
Okay. Another question which came frequently up during the chat and during WETalk was about the bank account numbers and concrete data, where to donate money to, and also where to send drugs and medications to. And we will provide this by email and at our webpage, so everyone who is joining now will get this information to support you. And as I understand, it may be important, please correct me if I'm wrong, you emphasized that there are no drugs in the pharmacies, so it will be definitely necessary to supply you with drugs and not with money to buy drugs.
If it could be, for example, minivan full of euthyroxine, I would be more than happy. For example, we bought 1,000 of euthyroxine drugs, and every day people from the center of Ukraine come asking for this, and we distribute it just by one plastic thing with 10 tablets, at least for this week. Then we could find it.
Okay. One concern coming up in the Q&A section was that, what do you presume if you send some goods or drugs to Ukraine? Will it go to the people who need it, or is there a high danger that it gets lost? Or could you just comment on this?
That's why I try to control it. So if it goes to our mission, this charity foundation, we control the transportation, we control the bus or the car, we control the goods coming to the storage, and then we distribute it personally. So the logistics is being supervised by us. I understand we have a lot of tracks of goods coming here, but these tracks go to the central Ukraine. I understand they need it badly there. But sometimes some medications have to remain here for the migraines also.
Yeah, and I can just imagine that the need is that high, so it will be useful anyway. Another question coming was about what is more urgently needed. Is it medications, and is it doctors and nurses to help you with the work, or is it both?
Definitely hands are always needed, but the problem is with communication. So our population speaks Ukrainian or Russian. That's why it's a bit challenging for English speaking or other language speaking people. So it could be some kind of discommunication. As for medication, they are badly needed always. That's why if medication will come, we will definitely distribute. But some organization process, logistic process could be supervised by WONCA, and I would really appreciate, because really sometimes I'm not sure if I really can handle all this. We are in contact with municipal government nowadays. We have better contact, because I understand this is the danger time, the disaster time. That's why we have to communicate. We are not always very close together with them, but now we are a bit out of bureaucracy and corruption from their side. So that's why we collaborate, and that's very good. We understand that we have to share our forces.
Yeah. Okay.
So they help us to distribute. They help us to store the medications. We have a place in this owl's nest, which is municipal place. I suppose some help is being done by the municipal government, which is very good. But you know.
Yeah, and there is also a suggestion coming regarding the translation of webinars or lullabies for the residents, saying that there are lots of Ukrainian-speaking people in our countries too, so which we could also try to seek their help in translating such webinars, and we could activate this. A very good advice. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. And yeah, of course, the logistics is a problem. This is raised, and concerns how to cross the border with the medications. But you already explained that you can manage this as long as it's a small, let's say, a van or a usual car or some packages. It passes easily.
If you give me just an opportunity, I would like to mention the shipment amount has to be less than 3.5 tons. It can be transported easily. If it's more, it requires much more. Procedure is much longer. That's why 3.5 tons the maximum amount, and it would require only 3 easy documents, which we could provide you or help you to fill in.
Yeah. And Pavlo, is it a problem, for example, with certain kinds of drugs like benzodiazepines or opioid analgesics? Is this a problem to bring it across the border?
You know, nowadays everything is possible actually, but we understand that they require much more official documents. But nowadays we have boxes of medications coming through, so I would not comment, but you understand that everything is possible today.
It's a war condition.
Really need, for example, yesterday I've got a request. The cancer clinics are out of opioids. Can you imagine this?
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, and diabetics are without insulin. So unbearable.
Okay. Joseph, have you seen any other questions?
Pavlo, mostly the emails are regarding to how to help you and offers of treatments, webinars, translations, everything. So actually our colleagues are not interested in asking you, but in helping you. So everybody wants to help. There is such an overwhelming amount of emails offering something to you, even immunosuppressants, whatever kind of treatment and drug. So please send the last remarks, how to contact you, how to offer your help directly. Of course, this webinar is recorded. We can just catch the record of all the emails so you can analyze further what people are offering you. But I think that it will be easier if you can just give a remark, how to contact you, how to give your help, how to make all the medications, everything reach the people who are in need.
Yeah, just maybe there are 2 questions and one contribution. Maybe just you mentioned, Aaron is asking, do you have any advice for supporting the health needs of Ukrainian refugees that have come to other countries in Europe? I think this is a question that might be depending on the region where they are coming from and what kind of non-communicable diseases they have. But do you have any specific thing to say, Pavlo?
Yes, I have a few tips for my colleagues who will work with my co-citizens, like citizens of my country who are now abroad. So first of all, communication barrier. People don't speak English or don't speak other languages. Be aware that you would need interpreter, otherwise you would not understand each other. This is the first thing. The other thing, you will meet a lot of people with hypertensive crisis and with not very well corrected hypertension. People don't take medications properly, and you will have a lot of hypertensive crisis because of not proper control. you will have a lot of people with thyroid problems because of Chernobyl. And if they are middle age or older age, you will find them definitely, and you will need to control their thyroid problems. You will have diabetics who don't take proper medications very often, as I'm talking about diabetes 2, type 2. So as for diabetes type 1, if they get the insulin, they are controlled pretty well usually. So they so they trust in non-evidence-based medications. So very often, a lot of people trust in grandmother's recipes, and they treat their diseases with this stuff. So be aware that they don't always trust the doctor and treat themselves. So these are my tips for my colleagues who will meet the Ukrainian population soon.
Pavlo, just if you don't accept this as a rudeness, and just a question of practicality, does all Ukrainian refugees understand the Russian?
Understand? Sorry, what? Sorry.
I mean, do the Ukrainian citizens understand the Russian language?
Russian? Yes, many. Maybe all of them understand Russian. Not all of them speak Russian. And nowadays,
Okay.
But anyway, Russian is understandable understood by all of our people. Yes.
Yeah, because of the other countries which they move, just that's a practical thing. Maybe they cannot find the Ukrainian speaking, but they may find Russian speaking also. Yes. Maybe just another thing. I think the universal health coverage is important issue, and I think in Poland, Marek is writing here is. I think universal health coverage is maintained for the Ukrainian refugees in Poland. So in some other countries, probably it will be the same, which is nice to know actually. Shlomo?
Okay, I think that Mehmet, you said 30 minutes and we are already reaching an hour, but I see that the audience almost 100% stayed with us. I have a lot of experience with webinars, and I know that if we are interesting, we can talk and talk and talk and no one will drop. But I think that we should finalize it. And I can say you, Pavlo, a few things. First of all, you should read all the chat. Maybe, I don't know if it is recorded, but a lot of leads, a lot of goodwill, a lot of donations, a lot of connections, a lot of emails. I think that you should read it and find a lot of good people that are willing to help you. About the donations, I will say to our audience that the information and all the details will be on our WONCA website. And to you, Pavlo, I can say that if you still dream, it means that you are strong, that you have a lot of positive energy, and I think that you will survive this crisis. And with your dreams, you will achieve even much more than was before. So I think that just want to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody, and thank you for organizing this beautiful opportunity to talk with the whole world. I would just like to ask WONCA for help in structurizing or summarizing because I gave my personal email, but can you imagine if my mailbox is full already, but if it's full with new people whom I appreciate for their help, but I try to write at least thank you to everybody, and it makes my day crazy. So I would appreciate if you could help in this kind of thing to summarize and to contact with people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pavlo. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavlo.
Thank you for giving time to us and telling everything firsthand to our colleagues and member organizations and who are interested in. I am pretty sure that it will be reaching to its target. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.